everybody, Chris with Lift Kits for Less. Hey, check this out. This is the new 6-inch suspension system from Superlift. This is for all you GM guys, 3/4 ton, 1 ton guys. 2011 through 18, 19 current iteration. So if you remember, we did a video at SEMA. We talked to Mike Morris, the national sales manager. This kit had not been released. It's since been released, so I'm pretty pumped to get my hands on it. Now we're going to be installing this on a brand new 2016 GM 3/4 ton. My goal today is to go over what comes in this kit, some features of the kit, some pros and cons, some wheel tire fitment, just a general highlight. We're not going to do a step-by-step install video, but at least give you some good information here that hopefully you'll find helpful in making a decision what's the best kit for your truck, okay? Now this is a part number K150. They do offer 3 different shock packages. The standard kit K150 comes with rear shocks only and shock extensions in the front. That's these right here. They have a Bilstein option, which is front and rear Bilsteins, and pictured here are the Fox 2.0 steel body steel body shocks by Fox. So that's what this particular customer chose to install. Okay. Again, we also want to go over what comes in this. First of all, at any time, guys, up here in the corner of your screen, there's an eye. If you click on that eye, it takes you right to the product page. It's going to give you all this information, the electronic version of the instructions, before and after photos, the video. You can live chat with us. We're happy to help. Now, the reason why I created this company and this website was to get information out to consumers so you can make an informed decision. There's a lot of bias in the industry, right, guys? You call Pro Comp, what do they recommend? Pro Comp. You call Rough Junkie, Rough Country, they're going to recommend Rough Country. You call Zone, of course. So with us, we're independent. We're just trying to give you the information. My goal is just to inform, like informed consent. Hey, this is what you get. This is what it costs. And it's fun. It's just a lot of fun. It's Christmas here every day. Guys are pumped to get a lift kit on their trucks. It's really cool. Anyway, with that said, let's jump into it. Again, K150 price point right now, $14.92. That's with the standard shocks, and it goes up from there. I think with the Fox, the Bilstein, it's a little under $1,900. Now, the big talk point on this particular kit is this non-torsion bar drops, meaning so every kit on the market, most kits on the market actually drop your torsion bars down and leave it in the factory position. Well, I shouldn't say factory position. It stays in the factory position for the lower knuckle, but it comes down. The limitation there is you don't have as much clearance, right? Because it's sitting down. Now, there's a lot of debate over what has a better ride. The one that keeps the non-torsion tucked and up, doesn't drop it, or the design that drops it down. So I went through and I looked up. BDS has a non-torsion drop. Icon offers a non-torsion drop. FabTech offers a non-torsion drop. All those kits start about $2,500. And then, of course, Superlift has their kit here priced at $1,400. So obviously, a very aggressive price point. So anyway, it'll be fun for me to get feedback from you guys. It'll be fun for me to drive. Now, I currently drive a 1-ton dually, and so mine has torsion bars. And they're still in the stock position. So it'll be fun for me to jump in this truck after we're done, drive it, see how it feels. Anyway, so it's interesting. These front massive knuckles do not increase the track width, so you don't have to you need kind of wheel spacers in the rear to make it'll be equal front and rear wheels. Okay. Keep in mind you cannot run the factory 17s or 18s. You need to go to an aftermarket 20-inch. This will clear a 35-inch tire, no problem. Probably go to like a -12 offset. It'll look pretty tough. Now, if you go to the 37, you're going to want to be like a 0 offset. And again, all this is on our website, wheel tire fitment. If you get stuck, guys, give us a call. We'll help. A few other key notes here. This is full 1/4-inch steel. These are extremely well-built, American-made cross members. Basic components, obviously, independent front suspension. Now, keep in mind, guys, independent front suspension, there's some challenges, right, with torsion bars. As you crank your torsion bars, those upper control arms are going to start to droop, and you hit the droop limiter. When you hit the droop limiter, it's hard to get a good alignment. It's hard to get quality ride because you're hitting those droop limiters. So any good kit is going to put that factory control arm back up in the stock position. If it's drooping out, that's a problem because your ride goes to crap and alignment issues. So a lot of guys want to, there is some degree of adjustability on this. If you want to try to turn this into an 8-inch kit, you can do that, right? You could crank the keys, but you're taking out some of the adjustment and you're going to compromise on the ride quality because your arms are going to droop and they're going to hit the droop limiters. So if you want to try to turn this into an 8-inch kit, I would recommend throwing on some good aftermarket control arms that give you better clearance off those droop limiters. We'll show that on the truck. A couple of key other factors here. Obviously, we got diff drops, skid plate, protect your diff, front diff, ties the whole cross member together. These use a fabricated rear block. The only knock I have right now on the Superlift kit is that they use the powder coating it's not the kind of powder coat I like. I like the 3-stage. They use what's called, they acid bathe it, and then they use what's called E-coat. And E-coat is what's underneath your truck. All vehicles come out of your dealerships with an E-coat that is corrosive or anti-corrosive and kind of protects it. This is just a simple acid bath straight to powder coat. And I've seen where if you nick this, it comes right off. So that's probably my only knock on this. I would encourage you to keep a can of Rust-Oleum. I mean, this shit's going to get beat up, right? I mean, you're going to hit rocks. It's going to take a beating. So probably what I recommend is that keep an eye on that. Go through, hit a little touch-up paint on this. And I've kind of beat Superlift up on this, and they're actually bringing all their powder coating in-house so that they can, one, speed up production time, but two, have a better process that they control from start to finish. I know they're really excited to get that done. It's supposed to happen in the next 6 months. So that's really my only knock on their manufacturing process. A couple of the little things. I like all my components to be uniform colors, so these aren't painted. You may want to take some paint and paint the stuff up, make it all uniform. Guys, one other thing, this does work with a dually. You're just going to need probably if you have a 2-piece driveline, use the carry bearing drop kit. Also, if you have the larger rear axle, you're going to need to get longer U-bolts for the rear. What else? That basically covers it. Let me see here. Also, a lot of guys asked, is my truck going to sit level? This is designed to sit level. And again, you have some degree with torsion keys. You can drive the keeper bolt up and down and adjust the level height of the vehicle. Dually, guys, yes, again, you can use it. You need longer rear bolts. Anytime, guys, this is obviously a towing truck, right? 3/4 tons, 1 tons. If you are going to be towing, I would highly recommend that you, since it's going to take the rake out, right? Factory, the rear end sits high. Now you're sitting level. You load the vehicle, it starts to squat. I would recommend getting some airbags for the rear end. Throw that in there for a safe towing position. Anyway, as always, here at Lift Kits for Less, we're happy to answer questions. We're going to head right out to the truck, see how this turns out, get it thrown on the vehicle. We hope to have some good before photos, after photos. Cool, let's do it. All right, great. So Gary just finished the installation. We're going to go through this. I want to just kind of go over the highlights again here. Again, the goal with any good suspension system is to put everything back in the factory position, and that's critical for alignment, for ride quality, for for it to feel normal. So as you can see, the goal was to create 6-inch lift. Okay, independent front suspension. We're going to use cross members, front cross member, rear cross member, okay, to lower the factory control arm down, and then we make up the distance with this new massive aftermarket knuckle. Okay. When we set this on the ground, that upper control arm should come straight out, so it's not sitting on our droop limiter, because that's where you get the crap ride, okay? If you over crank your keys, you droop out the control arm and it just rests on the droop limiter and you get this real harsh ride. The goal here is to put that so it comes straight back out at the factory position, and so you get a nice, comfortable ride, okay? Let's go through some of the components real quick. Here's your new front bump stop drop. The new sway bar end link. Obviously you can see here's one of the diff drops. Now this is a full 6-inch drop, so it puts that diff, again, back in the factory position so you don't prematurely blow out your CV boots and have CV issues. It's a problem with some of the cheaper kits or companies that try to create a 5-inch kit, a 6-inch kit, a 7.5-inch kit. They use the same drops, and then they're just trying to save money and cut corners. Superlift obviously doesn't do that crap. They do really high quality systems. Okay, let's jump around here. Let's show this non-torsion drop. This is really the main feature of this entire kit. So as you can see, here's your torsion bar. It's in the factory position. Now the upper control arm, we've lowered that down. So this torsion bar used to come into the bottom of the control arm here. Now it's up here, tucked up high, right? And that was the goal. Like obviously we're lifting the kit. That's a cool feature, is that all the other kits on the market, or a lot of the kits on the market, they lower this entire cross member down and you lose all your clearance, which is counterintuitive, counterproductive, with the goal of being able to get out and off-road without banging the bottom of your cross member here. So, okay, so that's in, obviously. Let's see, It's got some brake line relocation brackets. This ABS gets relocated, mounted back in the factory position. We went ahead and just for illustration purposes, I don't know how you get up, Dave, but this is the OE shock with the extension. Now we're going to take this off in a sec and throw the Fox shock package on, but we wanted to show you guys what this looked like with the front shock extension. So that's that, okay? Let's see. We're going to throw the diff plate on here in a minute as well. We just wanted to open this up so everybody could see the components. You can see here the rear cross member, and then here's where your cut is, cut straight across. Open this up, and that allows room for the front diff to drop down. Here's the other diff drop, okay? What else? Everything looks really good. Let's see, jump here to the back. This has a one-piece driveline straight out of your transfer case to the rear pumpkin, so it's not a two-piece where you need to drop this down with a carrier bearing. So this one's just the stock position. On this side of the vehicle, here's your brake line extension for the e-brake, emergency brake, and then there's one more bracket here. So here's this one, and then this side here, so you guys can see what this looks like. All right, and then in the very rear, there's one more brake line drop way up high here, and that then loosens up all these brake lines so they're not tight, okay? Fox shocks are in the rear, anti-wrap box, new U-bolts, okay? So cool, let's talk about tires real quick. So we got basically a -12 wheel. This is a 35 12.5 R20, Bridgestones, BF Goodrich, all-terrains, KO2s. So guys, what we're gonna do now is, I wanna talk really quick. Come here, one more second, Dave. So a lot of guys, you buy a 6-inch kit, there is some adjustability to this. We can get more height out of this if we want. We can drive our torsion bar keys, right? We can drive these up. Dave, you can come underneath and see the key. So you can, get your torsion loading tool, we're at full droop, and we can drive this up and create more lift. So there's a compromise, right, when you do that. So when you start to, the goal is put everything in the factory position to get an optimal ride, optimal alignment. So can we drive this up and create more height? You can. But what's going to happen is if we do that, you're going to cause these upper control arms to droop out, and then you're going to hit the droop limiter. So if you want to do that, guys, you probably could get 2 more inches out of this kit. It's not optimal, but I get it. A lot of guys want to get a little more lift. You could do that, but the number one thing you want to do is get an aftermarket upper control arm, and that corrects that angle and keeps us off the droop limiter. I know there's a lot of manufacturers that carry those. We have those as well. So keep that in mind. The goal here, though, is really to have a great daily driver, comfort, not a harsh ride, good alignment to get the wheels so they don't wear out. You want it to feel as factory as possible, and that's out of the box what this kit's going to do. But we'll set this on the ground. I'll show you, we're going to throw the Fox shocks on this. I want to show you how the control arms sit, and then we'll take it for a test drive, and then we'll finish up with the final thoughts, okay? Cool. Okay, awesome. We just dropped this on the ground. Now I want to show you guys how this looks. So I'm super stoked here, right? I have not touched this kit, I haven't installed it, but as you can see, your control arms come basically straight out. Tons of clearance here. I mean, there's a droop limiter here so you don't overcompress, screw up the rest of the suspension components. So this is absolutely perfect. You're going to get a perfect alignment. This thing's going to ride amazing. We got our Fox shocks installed. I mean, this is how you do a suspension system. We're going to go get a line. I'm going to drive it around, try to put some miles on it, see how it feels. Looking forward to seeing how this thing drives. Cool. Wow, that was awesome. I am super impressed with what Superlift has done. The ride was phenomenal. I haven't even gotten the alignment, and the truck drove almost, perfect. Went on the freeway, went off-road. Amazing. So really proud of what Superlift did. And when you look at the price point on this, out of the box, a little over $1,400, throw in some shock packages. And with the flexibility of going up in height, you can add an aftermarket control arm. We'll go ahead and add that to the product page. So guys that want to actually get a little more height out of this, we'll throw in the control arms as an option, put a couple options for you. Also, another keynote, clearly this sits ass tall. So guys that are towing, it does leave some room there so you can load it. It shouldn't be squatted out and look crazy. Also, if you were to try to crank this up in the front, it would probably sit more level. So remember guys, to keep those alignment specs, keep this thing driving perfect, throw on some aftermarket control arms and then you'll be set. You can see here, torsion bars are up. You know, you got tons of clearance. I mean, this is awesome. That Duramax, right? I mean, the Duramax motor is phenomenal. Like the 35, 12 and a half, so you wouldn't even know you went up in tire size. The motor is awesome. Also under braking was, the brakes on these 11 through 19s are phenomenal, so it broke beautifully. It felt secure. It was nice and soft. It wasn't like stiff. You weren't like boom, boom. It just was great. So really, really impressed. Guys, anytime, remember the eyes up here, click on that, takes you to the product page, directions, videos. Also, one final note on this, at this price point, no one else comes close to this, and they actually throw in a powertrain warranty, which is just free peace of mind. So if you got a brand new Duramax and you want to know you're not going to avoid your warranty with Superlift, they throw in a free insurance package. You just fill in paperwork, send it in. I mean, take advantage of that. So I'm a Duramax fan. I drive a daily Duramax guy myself, and this is awesome. So cool. Hey guys, remember here at Lift Kids, I hope you found this video helpful. Please give us the thumbs up, the like, follow us, subscribe to us. We're always coming out with cool content. We're always trying to bring you all the best information so you can make an informed decision. Remember here at Lift Kits, for less, you get more.